Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truth. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. A war between the US and China is inevitable, and the CCP is preparing to launch a swift and intense strike to claim Taiwan, betting the fate of the nation against the US. This is the most likely trajectory for US-China relations following Trump's election. This assessment not only comes from intelligence within the CCP system, but is also a consensus among some former CCP insiders. On October 28th, during the US election, I disclosed that the CCP had prepared a report and response measures in case of Trump's possible election victory. Now, more details of this report have been revealed. First, the report was written by a team of 9 top international political and military strategy experts from the CCP's military and foreign ministries. And the vice chairman of the CCP's Central Military Commission, Zhang Youxia, is in charge of this emergency think tank. This CCP military think tank report concludes that the most significant and far-reaching change in international geopolitics after Trump becomes the US president again will be manifested through the US facilitation of the Russia-Ukraine peace agreement. A truce between Russia and Ukraine was Trump's main diplomatic strategy during the election campaign. The report suggests that regarding Trump's America, the CCP should abandon all illusions, prepare for conflict, and even be ready to engage in a decisive battle with the US over the Taiwan Strait, betting the fate of the nation. The Taiwan Strait was chosen as the battlefield because it is right at China's doorstep, making it the most strategically advantageous location for the CCP. The report by the CCP military think tank analyzes that although Trump's plan to end the Russian-Ukraine war has not yet been released, it can be predicted that no matter what the specific details of the plan are, the threat of stopping military aid and forcing Ukraine to exchange land for peace will definitely be the main premise for Trump's peace plan. The report points out that Trump's coercion of Ukraine will have a wide-ranging negative effect on the United States. This is because European countries and even Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Australia have followed the strategic direction of the Biden administration and have gradually moved their national policies into a track of full support for Ukraine's victory and comprehensive economic, political, and diplomatic sanctions against Russia. If Trump makes a U-turn on this policy, forcing Ukraine to accept the national humiliation of trading land for peace and putting the US allies in Europe and the Asia Pacific in a disadvantaged and awkward position, the US would appear as a country that hands out promises with one hand and takes them back with the other, lacking any credibility. This would inevitably have a serious negative impact on America's national reputation and the credibility of its commitments. Therefore, to minimize the inevitable negative impact on U.S. national credibility from a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, to reassure its allies, Trump's European strategy would not only aim to quickly end the Russia-Ukraine war, but would also strive to form a strategic alliance with Russia. This would weaken the alliance between Russia and China. At the very least, it would encourage Russia to remain neutral during any conflict in the Taiwan Strait rather than becoming China's strategic support base. Based on these judgments, the report by the CCP's military think tank makes 6 strategic and tactical recommendations to Xi Jinping. The first suggestion is to further increase military and economic aid to Russia and to encourage North Korea to expand its special forces involvement in Russian operations. The purpose is to increase Russia's confidence in secret negotiations with Trump about a ceasefire, thereby raising Russia's demands for accepting an American plan, making it harder for the US to achieve its ceasefire proposal. The second suggestion is that once the US peace plan is exposed through various channels, to use diverse and effective methods to vigorously promote that Trump's America First policy is essentially an extremely selfish policy, ignoring the interests of allies and other countries, thereby greatly undermining the trust of US allies and dividing various US alliances worldwide. The third suggestion is taking advantage of Trump's isolationist tendencies to quickly formulate and implement targeted diplomatic strategies to effectively seize and gradually strengthen relations with the EU, India, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and ASEAN to cope with the drastic changes in international geopolitics after Trump takes office. The fourth suggestion is, given that Trump will undoubtedly support Israel in its efforts to eliminate Hamas and significantly weaken Hezbollah, making Israel a strategic pivot for the US in the Middle East to effectively contain Iran. Therefore, the CCP's United Front Work Department and International Liaison Department, in cooperation with the Ministry of Defense, should continue to strengthen political ties with Middle East resistance forces and enhance the provision of secret military and economic aid. The fifth suggestion is to establish a strategy for resolving the Taiwan issue before 2027. Resolving the Taiwan issue before 2027 is both a decisive means to counter the US aggressive trade, economic, and diplomatic wars and a political assurance for the successful convening of the 21st National Congress of the Communist Party. At the same time, the report proposes to give up plans for blockading Taiwan or occupying its outlying islands and instead focus on preparing for a short, sharp, and fierce strike to complete military operations in Taiwan Strait in a short time. Despite the modern surveillance capabilities of the US and Japan through well-designed feints, operational surprise can still be achieved. The aim is to significantly compress the time and space for the US needs to respond to a conflict in the Taiwan Strait. The sixth suggestion is to prioritize strengthening economic and emotional ties with Elon Musk and his mother as a key part of the United Front work. At critical moments, convey through Musk to Trump the message about the costs the US would face if it directly intervenes in the Taiwan Strait War and the generous rewards it could reap by maintaining substantial neutrality, avoiding direct military intervention. This information is intended to trigger Trump's trader mentality, which is obsessed with making deals. Well, what do you think about these suggestions, especially the last one? Will Trump be more eager to make a deal with the CCP than defending Taiwan? And will Elon Musk become a messenger for the CCP? Tell us what you think in the comment area. The above information was revealed by former Peking University professor Yuan Hongbin, who has close ties with people in the CCP system. Yuan Hongbin also said that by examining the suggestions proposed by the CCP's military think tank to counter Trump's rise to power, one can clearly perceive the insidious cunning of CCP politicians and scholars. The upcoming direct clash between the US and the CCP regime will, to some extent, be a contest between Trump's sharp business instincts and Xi Jinping's cunning as a communist politician. The most important members of Trump's announced cabinet, led by Marco Rubio, are politicians with a clear understanding of the major trends in the 21st century international politics. Trump's cabinet is a compact legion composed of a group of hawks with their sword aimed directly at the CCP's global expansion strategy. This shows that Trump possesses not only the sharpness of the businessman, but also the unwavering determination of a great statesman. He is not someone to be changed by the world. He seeks to change the world. The fate of America is thus blessed with a strong leader. However, in a game against the tyranny of the CCP, Trump might overly trust the trade wars, economic wars, and diplomatic wars alone are sufficient to defeat the CCP. Well, the above are Professor Yuan Hongbin's comments on Trump. What do you think about these views? Yuan Hongbin also believes that if Trump wants to make America great again, he must cause a fundamental defeat of the CCP's political, economic, and military rise, which has been going on for 30 years. Simply put, without a major defeat of the CCP regime, there will be no America great again. Trump's vision of making America great again would be reduced to a campaign slogan. The report by the CCP's military think tank also recognizes this point. In the meantime, Xi Jinping is secretly plotting to choose the Taiwan Strait as the battlefield for a battle of the century military showdown with the United States, betting on the fate of the nation. Han Lianchao, a visiting fellow of the Houston Institute, who used to work in the CCP's foreign ministry, also pointed out that there is indeed bound to be a war between the United States and the CCP. Xi Jinping has openly proposed the establishment of a new international order, that is, a communist totalitarian-led or social imperialist order with Chinese characteristics, which is contrary to the existing peaceful democratic and rule-based order established by the United States after the Second World War. There is no room for compromise between the one who wants to undermine the current order and the one who wants to guard it. In addition, when meeting with US President Joe Biden 2 days ago, Xi Jinping once again drew 4 red lines for the US, asking the US to allow the CCP to take over Taiwan, to allow the CCP to deprive and trample on the political and civil rights of the Chinese people, to refrain from opposing the CCP's totalitarian communist system, and to allow the CCP to engage in a totalitarian communist model of development in the world. All these are, of course, unacceptable to the United States. In the face of Xi Jinping's challenge, the United States has no choice but to be forced to respond. Han Lianchao also said the only way to avoid a war between the US and the CCP is to use all means to promote democracy in China. This is the conclusion drawn by Kant after studying the frequent wars in Europe, and we should heed the advice of this philosopher. Cai Xia, a former professor at the Central Party School of the CCP, also said that there will inevitably be a war between the CCP and the US. The ideological conflict between the CCP and the US is absolute, and the national systems are completely opposite. Xi Jinping has always been promoting the idea of community with a shared future for mankind, disregarding the sharp economic decline within China and spending a huge amount of money on the Belt and Road Initiative. The latest move is to put a significant stake in Chancay port in Peru, directly placing a threat right under America's nose. Despite the evident domestic crisis, Xi Jinping might provoke a war in the Taiwan Strait or the South China Sea to divert attention. I personally also believe that while Trump wants to implement an America First policy and promote world peace, the CCP wants to seize the last opportunity to achieve its strategic goals. If America does not respond actively, it will be very dangerous. Yesterday, someone sent me some shocking chat logs of some CCP's so-called little pinks. They not only discussed the necessity of taking Taiwan by force, but also hoped to smash Taiwan to pieces, believing that a Taiwan in ruins would be more valuable than an intact one, as this would solve employment for many Chinese and address the overcapacity of many businesses. Here are the chat logs for everyone to see. These conversations are shocking. They can even discuss turning people into fertilizer without any hesitation. Here's another page of the chat logs where they discuss how much $1 trillion value could be generated by destroying and then rebuilding Taiwan. I'll give you a moment to read through this page. And on this page, they continue to discuss how rebuilding Taiwan could create $30 years of jobs in the civil engineering sector. And on this page, they discussed how capital will definitely support attacking Taiwan. I must say, the thinking of the CCP and its people is entirely different from that of the normal world. We must view things from their perspective and understand what they value most to make more accurate predictions about what they will do next. Well, again, tell us what you think in the comment area regarding all the points we covered today. Okay, now please like this video, share it, and subscribe or follow me for more. Please also visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation. Your support is vitally important to enable me to continue sharing the inconvenient truths. Thank you and see you next time.